day one of this end of year mentorship. This is one of my favorite things to do, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So happy to have this because it always signals the beginning of a new season. Awesome. Good to see Antonio from Manila. Nice, 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 nice. Awesome, awesome. I see South Africa is in the house. Tanzania is in the house. Yes. Great, great, great. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. This is going to be a life-changing encounter for you. It's going to be a life-changing encounter for you. I know so, and I believe so. All right. All right. If you are joining in from YouTube, go ahead. Or you're joining in from Facebook, go ahead and comment and let us know your name and where you are joining us from. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. You know, my programs always start on time, so that time is very expensive, very costly. Good, good, good. Keep it coming. There are more people that have not commented, especially people that are in the GMT +1 time zone, or it's morning already. Go ahead and comment. I hope that you're not sleeping. Sleep is still in your eyes. I hope that's not the case. That sleep is still in your eyes. Awesome. Right. This lighting is good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Excellent. Excellent. I want to challenge you that the next couple of days between the 19th, that is for those that are already 19, and of course the 30th of November will be a life-changing encounter for you. Right? So make sure that you definitely take advantage of this, and it will help you. It will help you. All right. Again, you're welcome, everybody. For people still joining in right now, the numbers are increasing on here on Zoom. We see YouTube coming up, Facebook turning up. You know, for those who are joining in on YouTube and on Facebook, day one is the only free day. All right, from tomorrow, only people who have registered and who are in the end of year mentorship WhatsApp group will have only the Zoom link to actually join the mentorship for the rest of the days. Sometimes I just do a free day for people who are wondering, what am I really going to learn here? All right, so that we give a full test of what they will get as we begin to do this. All right. For some people, this is not their first time to be part of my end of year mentorship program. I have been doing this, I think, since 2018 or 19. And if there is one program that I run on a recurring basis that has produced tremendous testimonies, is the end of year mentorship program. I have had incredible feedbacks. There's somebody who like just painting a picture, a lady who she was in Cameroon at the time. She never planned that she was going to, she never had that boldness, to set a goal that, what, I can leave Cameroon, go to Canada, pursue a PhD, and build a better life for myself, right? I'm trying to paint a picture. And in one of the mentorship programs, she decided to set that goal for herself. And that simple goal, based on what she learned, literally changed her life, right? Sometimes for many people, they just need that inspiration, that insight, or somebody to just lay a blueprint that it is possible, and then challenge them to do it. And they always get it done if they make up their mind to actually rise to that possibility. All right. So this is something we have done year in, year out since 2018, and we have seen incredible feedback and testimonies from different people. And this year will not be different. Trust me, this year will be tremendous. This year will be tremendous, and your life will never be the same. Praise God. All right. So today, this year's mentorship, I am focusing on how to go global in 2026. And the purpose of the end of year mentorship is always to prepare people for the next year, all right, and how to enter the next year. So, and that's the focus for this. So showing you how to end the year right by helping you to prepare for the next year. And the main focus of the things I'm going to talk about between today and the 30th of November, these things will focus around how to go global in what you do. Either you're a career person, you're a worker, you want to be a corporate person, or you want to run a career with international agencies or government, I don't know, or you run a business or an NGO or an institution, and you want what you do to go global. There is a way to do that, and that is the focus for today. So I have mapped out a couple of models and sessions that we're going to cover, and I believe that these are very critical in this process. And some days we are going to have worksheets, like reflection worksheets, that you will download and use it during your spare time and work on it. Challenge yourself to complete these worksheets, all right? I have spent a lot of hours, months, preparing this to teach you guys and to share with you guys. And if you want to see your life change, you need to learn how to integrate these things into your life and actively participate in what we will be sharing. All right? Awesome. All right. So for those who are in the WhatsApp group, I shared a few updates, and I said, if you're serious about this, get a separate journal, and you can name it your 2026 strategy journal. Through this, you can use the things that we are going to share and build a yearly strategy for your life. That's what I normally do. I don't enter a year without a strategy for that year. And that's how you get the best out of a year. All right. And you need to sit down and establish that strategy, and a lot will definitely change for you if you do that. You see, there are things that if you do as guesswork or presumptions or assumptions, you are not going to get the best out of that thing. People who go into any situation with strategy, with a plan, with a structure, with a system, with a particular psychology, they get the best out of that thing more than people who went in blank and just assuming or guessing that it will be good. All right. So if you do this, trust me, it will definitely help you. If you are set for this, you're set for day one, go ahead and type set for day one. Give me some feedback. If you're set for day one, Go ahead and type set for day one. Some. Yes, set for day one. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Oh, somebody's already in day two. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I always fondly say that if you approach any important thing in your life without a plan, without a structure, without a strategy, without a system, without the right psychology towards that thing, you will not get the best out of that thing. And you see, there are things in this life that if you don't understand the art and the science that govern that thing that you are chasing or you desire, you can end up in a stage of desire for so long, and that desire never manifests into reality. For example, there are people that desire financial freedom, financial rest, right? There are people that desire their careers or their businesses to perform better than that. But you see, if that desire, if that hunger is not accompanied by a certain dimension of strategy, structure, systems, psychology, a particular mindset that you aim at that desire, you can desire for so long and you end up in frustration, right? And that's why we take time to do this end of year strategic mentorship for members of our different communities so that through this, I can be able to contribute my little quota in giving them some strategy and some structures and preparing their psychology towards that particular path. And we are focusing in this edition on how to go global in 2026. Now, why is this important? Because we have entered an age, we have entered a time in this generation where there is a dimension of success, there is a dimension of breakthrough, there's a dimension of finances, there's a dimension of influence that you cannot break into, you cannot experience if you don't have a global strategy to what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing, except you have made up your mind that I am willing and ready to be small and limited. Then this is not for you. But you see, the challenge is that anybody who is not pushing for growth will go back into failure. Why? Because the world is advancing. The world is not stagnant. The moment you are not advancing in terms of growth, in terms of the kind of result that you want to achieve, the moment you live your life like that, from that very moment you are going backward, you are regressing because the world is advancing. It's like somebody saying, I hate technology. Your hatred of technology does not matter. What matters is that if you hate technology and you are not catching up and learning, the world will keep advancing and you will only go back into oblivion. And at the end, you'll be a total failure, right? So it is the same structure with this concept of going global. Everybody starts local. Everybody starts local. We're using, let's say, Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these global companies. They all started local. But you see, if you start local and you stay local, the challenge is that either another local company will start with the right growth strategy and swallow you and destroy you, or another company will start local in another country, go global, invade your locality, and destroy you. It's the same for career. It's the same for business. It's the same for whatever you're doing. You see, so like I was talking somewhere and I said, I was challenged. It was a group of young people, and that's why I was giving the age group. And I said, if you are 40 years and below, and in whatever you're doing, you are not intentionally crafting a global strategy and systems around what you are doing, there's a high chance that in 10 years, you will be non-existent. You see, and that goes for anybody. So this year's mentorship that we're focusing on how to go global in what you're doing is very, very critical. And these are things that I believe that if you don't matter at whatever stage you are, it doesn't matter your level of education, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter the country you are based in right now. But there are just some things that if you begin to apply them, you begin to alter the course of your life, your career, and your business for good that literally changes everything for you. Men and women some even live unprepared. And if they knew what to do when they entered that room, they would have gone global. And I'll handle that also, right? Because you can have a one-time opportunity, and if you don't get it right, you can spend some years. Let me use the word suffering. You can spend some years in suffering or smallness or being unseen because you had the opportunity, a spotlight, and you didn't know what to do about it. You see, so the purpose of this is to challenge us to come to that place where if you enter the right room or you get on the right platform and there is influence in that room, you carry the depth, you carry the preparedness, you carry the mindset, you carry the tools that you can exchange in that room, in that platform, and skyrocket your life. I always fondly say that I cannot talk about my story without talking about platforms and certain people, right? Because there are certain people that if you meet in your life, there are certain platforms that if they come into your life and you have the depth, the influence, not the influence, the preparedness, the wisdom, the strategies, and you know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, it can change your life for good. You see, for some people, it is a particular challenge that comes your way. And if you have the right wisdom, the right resilience, the right intelligence to make good use of that challenge, you can advance your life forward. That's why I always say that average people, when a challenge comes their way, they shrink at the challenge. But somebody who commands the right preparedness, the right wisdom and resilience and intelligence, when a challenge comes their way, they begin to look at how can I use this challenge as a platform to begin to advance. You see that? So it is important to understand these things that we are going to talk about, because when you have the wrong world view, when you have a narrow view about the society, about the world, about how things operate, that world view of yours will keep you in the same spot or keep you so small. For example, I have entered rooms or been in some places where a relevant conversation is going on, and there are conversations that what you say and how you say can open doors for you. And I've seen people stay silent. Like I always say, if you are silent in certain conversations in your industry, you will always close doors for yourself. And I'll talk about that. So their silence in a global conversation or their silence in an industry conversation reveals ignorance, right? And that ignorance that is revealed through their silence limits the opportunities that would have opened up for them and blessed them forever. You see that? So many people remain trapped in mediocrity. Many people lack what I call industry sophistication. I was talking to my mentees one time. I said, one price that you must pay is to be sophisticated when it comes to your industry. Like you come to you pay the price and grow in industry knowledge and intelligence that you come anywhere they are driving a conversation about your industry. You are so sophisticated with knowledge that when you open your mouth and start talking, they know that this lady, this guy is sophisticated and this guy carries what is needed, what we need to go to the next level. You see that? So there needs to be that shift because if you will be trusted with opportunities, platforms, leadership, even legacy, there are things that you just have to pay the price to know it. You have to pay the price to know it. You see, and that's one thing we're going to achieve throughout this strategic mentorship program to prepare you for the new year. Because look, there is many people don't know, but maybe they know, but they don't know the depth of what they are losing. But you see, the cost of staying average, the cost of staying average. Many people don't know the cost of staying average as far as their careers and their businesses are concerned in the next few years. This is the worst generation to be average, I'm telling you. This is a generation where a 15-year-old, because of what they know and the intelligence they command in your industry, they can do one video and take your place. They can open their mouth in a 5-minute conversations and kick you out of the same company that you have been there for 50 years or 30 years. I'm telling you. So the cost of staying average in my generation is more expensive than the cost of my mother staying average in her generation. You see, I was talking to a young man. I said, look, I was just having a talk with him. I said, so I just asked him about reading books, and he's I call it industry books, right? And he said he has not read a book, like he has not finished a book like in the last 5-10 years. I'm like, you have no idea what it's costing you. I was talking to my some um some people I work with in the ministry, and I was talking about one of the major reasons of what they call midlife crisis. You see, midlife crisis mostly step in from the age of 40 and 50, like that, right? When people get into that age and they realize that, hey, I am getting old and I have nothing to show for. I have not built a life that can give me rest. You see, many people experience midlife crisis because at the age where they had the opportunity to pay the price, because there's an when you're clocking 40 and 50 and above, It's the age where you're just focused on the establishment. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You see that? So I was telling them that many people enter that age and they're worried and they get into midlife crisis. They're worried about their finances, their future, how their life will be, because there are things that they did not pay the price. They stayed average for too long. So they were doing average things. They were watching all the movies, all the hangouts, doing things that do not contribute to their ROI, returns on investment. If you are doing things today at a certain age, that those things tomorrow cannot contribute to your returns on investment. For example, there is no movie you can watch today that will contribute to your returns on investment tomorrow. None. Except you're a movie maker and you're watching to learn. Then that learning, as you increase in that learning capacity, it will contribute to your returns on investment tomorrow. So when people clock a certain age, they'll notice that they have not established things around them. They have not learned things, that they have not done things that can contribute to their returns on investment at that age. So they start getting worried, anxiety comes in, and fear comes in, and many things steps in. That's what I'm talking about, the cost of being average. Many people don't know the cost of living an average life, the cost of doing things that cannot add some things to your destiny the next day. Many people have no clear picture of that, especially younger people. Many of you listen to me, you need to repent. If that's your type, I repent. You need to change quickly. You need to change quickly. Like there are people that can comfortably spend months, significant months in their life. And those months are pure living average lives, heavy average lives. They consistently do things that cannot contribute to their returns on investment tomorrow. It becomes a big challenge for them. A big challenge for them. So many people don't know the cost average life. People don't know. And that's one thing I pray that before we end this year's mentorship, is one thing that we all are going to conquer. Because people don't have the right picture of the cost of the average life they're living. They don't have the right picture, especially in this generation. Look, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, there are things that if you did not know, you can stay in the same company for 50 years and retire and nothing takes you out. But this generation, there are things if you don't know, there are some companies, even governments, that if you're not careful, you cannot make 2 years. They'll kick you out. Technology will kick you out. Or somebody who is paying the price to know the things you are not paying the price to know will kick you out. It's not negotiable. You cannot literally ignore that. If you run a business, you are not paying the price to learn some things. The point is, somebody in the same industry who is not living your average life, who is going the extra mile, will learn some things and do some things that will kick your business out. Like I always say, stop tolerating what will destroy you tomorrow. You see, so what am I trying to say? See, here's my point of view, right? Becoming a man of the world, becoming a global person in the way you think, in the way you act in this dispensation is no longer optional. It is literally a matter of survival. Okay, look at this example. In this mentorship call right now here on Zoom, we have people from people are registered, minimum 15 countries across almost all continents. That means with a small phone, with one app, you click it and you're global already, because you're global. Anybody who is on Zoom right now is global, because there's somebody in another country listening to you. And if you open your mouth and talk, you are not talking to your local people. You are not talking to your siblings. No, you are talking to people from at least 15 countries. See, the moment you open your WhatsApp, the moment you open your LinkedIn, the moment you open your Facebook, from that very moment, you are global. Because if you post anything, or somebody from China or Japan shares something, you're going to read from your country almost at the same time. And you see the picture. So pay the price to understand how you can go global in what you're doing is no longer optional. It's literally a survival strategy. It is both a survival strategy and a thriving strategy. You see, so spending time in this end of year mentorship to talk about going global, we're going to focus on key things that if you begin to practice them, you will refine yourself. You will know how to begin to navigate different landscape. You know how to begin to blend wisdom and industry intelligence and influence and actions to take that. If you are consistent at what you do, you're going to break through into the global stage and nothing can stop you. You see, so you need to come to that place where you can acquire the mastery and you can begin to live and execute that mastery. Come to that place where, as a professional, as an entrepreneur, wherever you stand and you talk, people can recognize authority. People can recognize that you command some form of global relevance. You can do that. So this is for the next, between this 19 and the 30th, we're going to cover a curriculum that if you practice it, it will move you from being an ordinary person to being, let me say, a sophisticated person with global influence in your industry. If you pay the price to do that. So there are a couple of concepts I have in mind to share with us. And the first concept, so each day I will cover a concept. I am done with my introduction, all right? So let me go to concepts and then we are done for today. So each day I'll cover one concept. And as I talk about this concept, begin to look at how you can begin to integrate these concepts in your life. All right, you can begin to integrate these concepts in your life. Awesome. Now, I'm going to share, like I said, some days there are going to be worksheets. I've developed worksheets that can help you take back this teaching, sit with the worksheet. That's why I recommended journals for those who are in the WhatsApp group. All right, journals that you can use them and create your strategy with these things I'm going to share with you. All right. So I have shared here in the WhatsApp group, sorry, in the Zoom link here. Click that. You will see skill to value starter pack. Click it. You will see reflections. All right. You will see some reflections worksheet. Download that reflection worksheet. It's for day one and use it. You can even begin to go through as I am teaching this with you. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, go to the description section. You will see list of the academies. Look at the link at the end of that list. Click that link. You will see skill to value starter pack. Click it. Put your name and your email. It will open and you'll be able to see the reflections sheet that I have designed for you. All right. That will help you as I begin to talk about this. Now I'm going to start from a foundation that is very critical. All right. What I'm calling concept number one on how to go global is what I'm calling awakening and self-inventory. Awakening and self-inventory. This is something that I believe that if you understand, it will determine how you're going to integrate every other thing I'm going to talk about in this particular retreat session. All right. You see, the challenge that many people have when it comes to going bigger, going global, going international, and producing bigger results with what they do is what I call sheltered patterns, what I call limitations, or things that act as barriers. And if you don't carry out the right self-inventory of yourself and awaken yourself to certain things and begin to confront certain patterns and assess certain limitations so that you can ignite the right hunger for growth, you can have desire and end up in frustration. For example, spending time to study and acknowledge your current worldview is very important. You see, because there are people that their current worldview is limited for global relevance. It makes them not to have the ability or the sufficiency to command global relevance. You see, because in other words, for you to be able to go global at whatever you're doing, the right world view is very important. So carrying out some self-inventory with absolute honesty is important for you. You begin to ask questions like, what are my blind spots? What are the habits and limitations that I have practiced for so long? For some people, you have grown up with those habits and those blind spots. And as long as they are in your life, you will find it difficult to advance in the path of life that can bring you to the place of global relevance. So without that self-inventory, without that awakening to understanding those blind spots and those limitations and those habits that limit you, you will struggle to experience growth. Because there are certain things in your life that when they move, growth now begins. And when growth comes into your life, growth always have children. Yes. If you are, for example, if you are sincerely growing in industry intelligence, that growth will give birth to some opportunities that those opportunities only follow people that are growing in that particular light. You see, so what am I saying? You see, this is something I've done many times on coaching and consultation. So I constantly meet people that they have psychological limitations, cultural limitations. The way they perceive the world is so limited. And this restricts their ability to experience global relevance. And that's why the worksheet I designed, you're going to work with it and challenge yourself to begin to map out, for example, what are the current psychological limitations that I have harbored for so long that restrict my ability to go global? What are the cultural limitations I have based on the way you grew up? Because cultural limitations come from either families or your immediate community or how you were raised, and they can limit your ability to establish global relevance. For some people, it is the way they perceived the world. It is the way they perceived people. For example, this is very popular of many people. There are many people that they grew up in, let's say, poor families or humble families or average families that were raised to believe that anybody driving a very good car and a black car is an occultic person, right? If you grew up like that, type me in the chat box. Most people in Africa will relate to that. Type me in the chat box if you know what I'm talking about, right? Like somebody with a big Jeep, a black car, and all of that, that person doesn't have clean money at all. Now, if you carry that mindset, that wrong perception into certain meetings where everybody who drives into that meeting, right? Yes, or tinted glasses, exactly. And everybody driving to that meeting your mind will be like, hey, so all these people are cultists, right? But it is because of how you were raised, your perception is limited. And when you have that limited perception, you will struggle to drive the right conversation or even negotiations that can open doors for you. You see? So there are people that before they can be able to go global in their career, in their business, they need to sit down with themselves, not with other people. No, have a meeting with yourself and begin to audit. Number one, you can audit your capabilities. You can audit your deficiencies. You can audit your culture. You can audit your psychology. You can audit the way you perceive the world in the light of going global. And you need to audit this and change it and start taking steps to change it. You see, so there are people that currently desire the global spot. But for example, their current intellectual strength is inadequate for that global spot. And you see, you can only come to that place where you realize that, hey, even though I desire this global opportunity, I don't yet possess the intellectual strength or capability to stand on that global spot. That awakening, that self-inventory that you are taking, that self-auditing that you are doing with yourself will now begin to push you to take steps to change that. You see, that's why there's something I developed. Um, I share this with my clients sometime. I call it gap mapping. Gap mapping. So to carry out your self-inventory, you need to practice what I call gap mapping. Now, what is gap mapping? Like you're trying to find gaps in your life, right? So you need to map out your life to find gaps. And the purpose of finding these gaps is not to make yourself feel bad. No, is to take steps to actually fill those gaps so that you can stand on the global spot that you desire to stand. So what is gap mapping? It is when an individual, either a professional or an entrepreneur, you carry out it's a systematic inventory. That means you're studying key areas of your life. And I want to talk about those areas. You are carrying out a systematic inventory of weaknesses that can limit your credibility in international spaces. Let me say it again. Gap mapping is where you sit down as a person with yourself and you begin to carry out a systematic inventory of your own weaknesses. Brutal, honest inventory of your weaknesses. And you're focusing on those weaknesses that can limit your credibility in the international scene, on the global space. For example, language, behavior, word system ignorance, the state of your emotions, how you think. These are things that you're auditing. For example, if you're thinking of going global, if you don't speak English, you already know that when it comes to language strength, you already have an issue. You see that? Or, for example, you cannot be talking about going global and you are ignorant of certain world systems. Or the quality of your thinking is inadequate as far as your industry is concerned, because you don't go global in thin air. No. You use an industry and you stand on it as your base and you begin to study that base to be good at it, and that industry now pushes you global. You see, if you're thinking about going global at anything, you have not identified the sector of the society or the industry in the economy that you want to anchor upon to push that global agenda, you can wish for those global platforms, but the manifestations will be far. See, so create some time and do some gap mapping, a systematic study of your weaknesses that can limit your credibility in the international space. It's very important. You see, because now, why is this awakening and self-inventory important? Simple. You see, you become readable, you become respectable in global settings because your identity is not imprisoned, it's not limited, it's not determined by local patterns. No. You when I say readable, it means that somebody can easily understand you when they hear you talk, or when they read what you write, or when they come across anything that belongs to you. So you become that readable, you become that respectable in global settings, global platforms, global spaces, because your identity is no longer imprisoned. It is not determined by local patterns. No, you have studied some things about yourself and you have done some corrections to change some things so that when somebody reads or come across you from anywhere, they can begin to see that, hey, this person carries what we need on this global platform. Like I was correcting a lady, a young lady on LinkedIn one time. I know her. She used to be my mentee. And so her name has, she's a young lady, right? Her name has, like, I've seen many people like that on social media platforms, especially on LinkedIn. So her name has Lady This, right? It's like a nickname. And you see, nicknames don't work for people in corporate settings. If you are not an artist, you have no business having a nickname on any social media platform. Because a nickname is not readable and not respectable in certain rooms. It is not. Absolutely not. You see. And then, apart from the name, there are some things that, for example, she wrote things like, I am a motivational speaker and things like that. I said, look, the work that you do and the things that you do, if you write there that you are a youth policy expert, if somebody from the UK or from Germany or from the United States, if they read African youth policy expert or a Cameroonian youth policy expert, they will have a perfect understanding and read you not from a local setting, but with a global perspective. And they can work with you faster than you writing certain kind of, popular phrasing that makes you feel good. You get the point? So I'm trying to give an example of how many people, because of they have not done the right self-inventory of themselves, or they have not awakened to certain key things in what they're doing, they do things that distracts or distorts how people can read them and respect them and see the need to invite them on certain platforms because they are not readable and they don't have what makes them respectable in that global setting. Why? Because their identity is imprisoned. Their identity is driven by local patterns that do not command that global acceptance. You get a point. It's very important. So what do you need to do as we run up this day one? What do you need to do? Number one, After today, everybody, number one, construct what I call a personal limitation checklist. I will explain. Construct a personal limitation checklist. I hope that you're writing these things down. The recorded version will be shared in the WhatsApp group. But these are things that you need to spend time and get them sorted out. Number one, construct a personal limitation checklist. What is that? I'm telling you, this is something I did very important in 2017. Spend some time and bring out certain deficiencies that you know that you have. What are those limitations that you have that if you don't deal with them as fast as possible, 10 years can come and pass and you have desire to be big and global and yet you're still local and non-existent? Construct a personal limitation checklist. See, be brutal with yourself. That's why point one is awakening and self-inventory. Be brutal with yourself. Construct a personal limitation checklist. Document, intellectual deficiencies. There are many people that you cannot sustain a professional industry conversation in your industry for more than 30 minutes. You cannot sustain it. You don't have the language power or the knowledge sophistication to do that. That's a limitation. It's a limitation. For some people, it could be intellectual deficiencies. For some people, it could be cultural deficiencies. You don't know how other cultures behave. You only know how your village people behave. Apart from that, you have no idea how Asians think and how their cultures, what their cultures mean. And I'm going to talk about cultural intelligence and why that is important to go international or global. For some people, it is relational limitations. You don't know how to build professional relationships that can change your life forever. For some people, it is character and behavioral deficiencies. Sit down. Construct a personal limitation checklist. And the purpose of that is start paying the price to turn those limitations into strength. Number two, the second thing to do from today under this point one, or concept number one, is run a cultural audit. Run a cultural audit. We're talking about how to go global. Run a cultural audit. What does that mean? Sit with yourself and evaluate your ability to interpret cultures, to adapt to cultures, to communicate across different cultures. For example, the world is divided across continents. Or let's say you're in Africa, I want to start with Africa. There's a way that West Africans behave. There's a way that those in the northern part of Africa, there's a way they behave. There's a way South Africans behave. There's a way East Africans behave. And if you're saying that I want to go global, and you don't spend time to begin to do a study, you must not do. I'm not asking you to be a cultural expert. I'm just saying, come to that place of awareness and proper information that you have the ability to interpret, to adapt, and to communicate across cultures. It's a very important skill. It's a very important skill. So run a cultural audit. Prepare for it. Like I always say, look, one thing I've learned about life is that preparation always goes ahead before promotion comes in. See, there are things that when you start learning and practicing, I believe that there's a way God has designed life, that there are some things that when you become good at, life is forced to give you some opportunities because of that thing that you're good at. Let me say it again. When I study life, I've learned that there are things that when you become competent at, you become good at. God has designed this life in a way that when you become good at some things, He orchestrates some promotions and opportunities to come your way because He wants to make good use of that skill, of that experience, of that preparedness. So if you are saying, you know what, I want to go global, I want to go global, have you taken time to study? How these people called Europeans, how do they think? What is the culture of Europe? What's the culture of North America? What's the culture of Asia? What's the culture of the rest of Africa? Knowing how to interpret, adapt, and communicate across cultures is one of the best things that can change your life. The third thing to do from today, one of the best things that I did some years ago and it changed my life. Adopt what I call a three-lens reflection. I'll explain. See, if you practice this, it will change your life. Adopt what I call a three-lens reflection. What does that mean? Evaluate yourself or review yourself through the lens of three sets of people. Evaluate or review yourself based on three sets of people. Number one, how does a local person sees me? That means people in the same town or neighborhood with you. How do they see you? Number two, how does a foreigner sees me or how will a foreigner sees me? Number three, how will a powerful person or an influential person see me? If you can answer these questions and be honest, you will see deficiencies and it will challenge you to change some things in your life. Number one, how does a local person sees me? See, there's a way that if you are closest friends, even your family members, and guys or ladies in your neighborhood or your immediate colleagues, if there is a way they see you, just as one common, yeye person, unserious person, see, if that is the way your immediate local people see you, you need to repent quickly. See, carry this test, I'm telling you. It will change your life forever. Adopt a three-lens reflection. Number one, how does a local person sees me? So I'm saying this right now. There's a way that your closest friends, there's a way they see you. You can see that there's a way they perceive you. You know that there's no respect, there's no honor, there's no value, there's just commonness. See, that is a bad sign. That's a bad sign. See, I have very close friends. We're very close. But there's a way we respect and honor each other in based on how we see. And you see, there's a way you carry yourself, there's a way you talk and do things that would force even your best friend to know that there are some things that I cannot do against or with this person. And I'm telling you, there's a way that if the local people, there's a way that they see you that if that way doesn't change, any other person will not see you right. So how does a local person see you? Number two, how does a foreigner see you? In this dispensation, the shortcut to this is go and type your name on Google. That's how a foreigner sees you. Go and type your name on Google. That's how a foreigner sees you. Another one, go and open your social media page. Your last, all your posts this year, or how you have run your social media platforms. That's how a foreigner sees you. Let me ask you a question. If a foreigner types your name now, we are in this Zoom call right now. There are people from almost 15 different countries. More than 50 people right now here. So there are foreigners here. If you type your name in the chat box and they take it on Google, whatever they see is how any foreigner will see you. I always say that in this dispensation, come to a place where you build your online profile in a way that somebody can go search your name and send you an invoice without questioning you. And all their email is that, based on what I have seen, I want to hire you. I want to do business with you. I want to pay you for your services. Number 3, how does a powerful person or an influential person sees you? For some of you that have the privilege to know powerful people and influential people, it could be politics, wealth, I don't know, as far as the person is powerful and influential. If you have the privilege right now to know people like that or have their contacts, how do they see you? And let me tell you something. If you have influential people who know you and you know them, and you can reach out to them, and you can talk to them, and those people have never called you for any deal, opportunity, platform, or anything, I am telling you, there's a bad way they see you, but they will not tell you. You know why? Any powerful and influential person I have ever seen, they will go to any length to get anybody that carries what can help them to go further in life. They like to use people in a good way. They like to use people in a good way. Some even in a bad way, but sometimes I say it doesn't matter. We know why? Because when an influential person uses you, if you have your brain and you know what to do, you can also use the opportunity to advance in life. What I'm saying is that if you are in contact with a powerful and influential person and they don't reach out to you in a certain way, I'm telling you, there's a way they view you that is wrong, and you need to change that. See, that's the power of this concept, number 1. And if you will go global, how the local sees you, how a foreigner sees you, and how anybody in power or influence sees you is very important. It changes everything. I'm not saying live life based on what people think. No. There are just some things that when you sort out with you and yourself, the ripple effects, you see the ripple effect of what you're doing in terms of what people around you are saying or how they view you. Change needs to happen. You see, the 4th thing to do, again, these things are in that reflection sheet for you to go through and answer some serious questions with you and yourself. After today, many of us need to have a serious personal board meeting between you, yourself, and yourself. Right? Yes. If that's you, type board meeting in the chat box. At least give me some feedback to be sure that nobody's sleeping. If you're going to have a serious board meeting with you and yourself, type board meeting in the chat box. Yes. Go and have that meeting with yourself. Number 4, the 4th thing that you need to do when it comes to awakening yourself and carrying out self-inventory in order to go global is what I call removing narratives that enhance weaknesses. Removing narratives that enhance weaknesses. I will explain. But just write it down. If you're going to go far, you need to learn how to remove narratives that enhance your weaknesses. What does that mean? To explain this concept better, I'll give an example. Come to the place where, as a person, you eliminate, you remove self-stories that enhance your weaknesses. For example, you say things like, this is how I am. this is how I am. You say things like, this is normal where I come from. You say things like, people will understand. Who told you? Those are narratives that enhance your weaknesses. Somebody's trying to correct you, trying to challenge you. Let's have an example. Somebody encouraged you, read books in your industry. Say that, I don't read media, that's how I am. That is an example of a narrative that enhances your weaknesses, and you will not go far. So if you are somebody who say things like, this is how I am, this is how we behave in our family or where I come from, that's stupidity. And that limits you in ways that you have no idea. Because when you say things like that and think like that, you enhance weaknesses and you don't grow. So the global stage is not for you. It's not for you. Or you constantly do things wrongly. You don't prepare for things with excellence. And you say things like, people will understand. Who told you? That's a wrong mindset. That's a wrong narrative. Narrative enhances your weaknesses. There needs to be a shift. There needs to be a shift. Many of you need to spend time and begin to remove any long-term narrative that enhances weaknesses. For some of you, that I love movies. I love to watch movies. Movies are good. I watch movies once in a while. You see that. But you see, if somebody say, if your narrative is that I love to watch movies a lot, I love watching TikTok videos. That's a narrative that is enhancing weaknesses. So it makes your weaknesses stronger than your strength. So there are things that you cannot break into or manifest as a person. Or they want to correct you. This is how we have anger issues in our family. That's how we are in our family. Who told you? You are proud of negative patterns. You are proud of destructive patterns. That's how we are. In our tribe, that's how we are. Who told you that nonsense? You see, and if you don't remove that narrative, talking to a lady one time, say, that's how I am here. I sleep me a lot. Sleep a lot. That's how I am. And the more you reinforce that confession, the more that weakness becomes stronger in your life. Many of us needs to identify those terrible narratives and remove them. Because if there is a narrative in your life that is enhancing weaknesses, you will grow weaker and weaker every day as you grow older. That's the sad thing about life. So there needs to be a major shift. Last point. The last thing to do under this awakening and self-inventory. Create desired identity traits. Create desired identity trait or characteristics. I'll explain. One of the best things you can do. Create desired identity trait. What does that mean? What does that mean? When you remove narrative that enhances your weaknesses, the next immediate thing to do is create a desired identity trait. So what does that mean? It means that you identify who you must become to operate globally. You establish it right now, and then you work towards it. You identify who you must become to operate globally. That means you identify, let's say, what level of conversational strength do I need to have to operate global? What level of cognitive depth or mental intelligence do I need to operate global? What level of emotional discipline? You see, so you sit with yourself and you create your desired identity traits. So when you remove narratives that enhances weaknesses, you go a step further now and look at yourself. All right, to operate global, what kind of identity traits do I need to develop today? And that's why going global is not an overnight thing. It's an agenda. I started my agenda of going global in 2015. I know the day I made up my mind I'm going to go global. I started my agenda to go global in 2015. Thank God today I've gone to 20 countries. Like I said, there are some things in this life you don't guess walk into it. No, there's an art, there's a science. And that's why I'm spending time to teach us this art and this science. So going global is not an overnight, it's not a few months thing. No, it's a lifetime project, basically. It's a mission that you need to make it a part and parcel of your life, especially in this dispensation. So point number 5, sit with yourself. Create a desired identity trait in what you do. For those who have been mentees for a while or been part of my community for a while, you know that it's a popular saying. I always say that years ago, I made up my mind and I said that I'm going to become so good at what I do that nobody can ignore me. That's an example of creating a desired identity trait. You identify the kind of identity you're going to develop. It can include, I gave examples, cognitive or intellectual depth in your industry. It can include commanding a certain dimension of public speaking skills or conversational skills. It can include a online identity that you develop for yourself. It can include the kind of resources you're going to create, like writing books or publishing videos or writing articles, whatever that you decide to do based on your dream and your industry. But I want to challenge everybody. If you're going to go far with that agenda, under this day one, we were talking about awakening and self-inventory. One of the most important things you need to do with yourself when you are having that self-board meeting, create a desired identity trait for yourself. Something's coming to mind. I'm going to share with it's kind of personal, but I told my wife that I know I'm going to be a good husband to you because there are things I wrote. There are traits of a husband I wrote that I was going to be before I ever started dating. Yes. So you see, I'm going to be a good husband to her, not to please her. No. I'm going to be a good husband because I'm living up to an identity of a husband I created for myself, not for her. So I told her that pleasing you is secondary when it comes to being a good husband. You see. So I'm going to be a genuine, authentic husband, not because I want to please her, no. Because I created a husband identity. I created a father identity. See, you can create a desired identity trait around key areas of your life. And then that's why not everybody live life on guesswork. Not everybody starts each day not knowing what to do. No. Because when you have this kind of identity, there's a way you face life. Because there is something you're becoming. You see, there are a number of books I read every year. Not because I want to please anybody, no. But because there's a professional identity that I am working on a daily basis as a young person. There's a kind of person I want to be in my industry when I clock 40, when I clock 50. You see, when you see some people at the age of 40 or 50, there are voices in their generation. It's not guesswork. They worked on a daily basis at their younger ages to command that identity. What will it be for you? What will it be for you? So download that worksheet. Go on a serious meeting with you and yourself, and your life will never be the same again. That was day one. We have laid a strong foundation. Day two, we scale it to a whole new level. All right. And this day one is many people join on Facebook and YouTube. And even I shared the links in my other communities for free for people who did not register to join. But from tomorrow, this link will not be there again. It will be a different link that we're going to use, and it will be shared only in the registered community. All right. So if you have not registered, you can register if you want to. Like I was saying, I think I was talking to the mentees, and I said, the 2,000 francs cannot give me financial breakthrough. I don't need the 2,000 francs. All right. So, but the point is, when people pay for something, they value it. All right. That's why the fee is very small, because I want as many people as possible to access it. Okay. That's the purpose of that. When it's free, people can just wake up at any time and don't even skip some days and not value it. All right. So if you're interested, screenshot that and do the mobile money, and you'll be added to the group. And trust me, your life will never remain the same if you go through all the remaining days that we have in store for you. Thank you so much, Steve, for sharing the link. Please copy that, click that link. When you open that link, you will see scale to value income starter. Open it, put your email and your name. The system will email you the worksheet. Every new day, I'll be adding some new worksheets on that link actually for free download, and you can use that and it will help you. All right. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube and you want to join, check the description section. You will see a WhatsApp number there. Send a WhatsApp message to that number, and somebody will attend to you diligently. I believe that this day one challenged you already, and just imagine what I have in store for us for the next, I don't know how many days it's going to be, right? But it's the 30th of November, all right? I just know it's from the 19th to the 30th, what, 11 days or so, all right? So we're going to be building up. And for those who are in the WhatsApp community, all sessions will be recorded and reshared in the WhatsApp community only. This will not be public actually. Only this day one is public, every other day is private, all right? Because there are things that, like I said, I'm going to teach things that you cannot find on Google. All right, these are things that I will research. I have a research team that I work with, and we don't just, and like I always say, if I bring anything to teach in public, I and my team, we have worked on it, researched, tested these things, even asked mentors questions to be sure that our bringing to the public is relevant and can change somebody's life. All right, this is thousands of dollars that research is expensive, right? So trust me. Awesome. All right, people, God bless you. See you tomorrow, same time. And let's take it on day two.